Chapter 37, Aether, to the Sanctuary. So, if I understood what you were talking about earlier right, Twilight began, there's only one more major area of Aether you haven't told us about yet, right? That's right, Samus agreed. The last area we needed to retrieve all the planetary energy for was the Sanctuary Fortress region. You must had quite a bit to say about that. Returning to the Grand Temple, Samus and Spike saw that energy now streamed between it and Torvus Temple, showing their progress in that regard. Umos was staring up at it in awe. The Temple of Torvus glows with energy once more, he marveled. Only one temple remains without the light of Aether. Turning to face Samus and Spike, he began to explain. You must travel to our fortress, high in the cliffs. He showed a holographic image of the area in question. You should seek knowledge within the temple itself before attempting to invade the Ing Hive, the shadowy reflection of our sanctuary. Sounds like a plan, Spike agreed. What will we have to face in there? Samus asked. Umos sighed as he called up an image of a quadrupedal mech unit. The fortress is guarded by machines of our creation. Once, they were our allies, but the Ing now command them. They will attack you on sight. That'll be interesting, Spike murmured. Pretty sure machines aren't edible, even for you, Samus teased. Which means I'll need to be careful about how many hits I take, Spike pointed out. I won't be able to restore myself by eating, like I have elsewhere. Do not lose hope, Umos encouraged. Our goal draws ever closer. May the light of Aether be your guide. Nodding, Spike and Samus turned, making their way to the Sanctuary Fortress. The fortress itself was as astounding as the image had made it out to be. The full extent of Luminoth tech was on display, showing just how advanced the civilization really was. The entire place was automated, tending to itself without any observation. And the actual fortress was suspended atop a massive rock pillar, connected to the rest of the mountains only by a narrow bridge. However, there was one thing Spike noticed right off the bat. The majority of the fortress was internally contained. There was very little of it open to the air, which would make maneuvering for him somewhat difficult. Halfway across the bridge, the pair were attacked by several pirate commandos. While Samus focused on charging across the bridge to get a better attack angle, Spike leapt off it, taking to the air for combat. The two-pronged attack proved too much for the pirates, who were too used to being able to outnumber and surround their targets, not being surrounded themselves. Once those were dealt with, the interior of the fortress proved even more impressive than the outside, especially the sheer size of the power generators and energy control systems. The sheer scale was beyond anything they'd ever seen in the Federation, and easily on par with what Samus knew the Chozo had been capable of, though the Chozo tended to prefer to use multiple smaller power stations rather than a single massive one. Spike was forced to detour through open areas of the fortress for most of their explorations, as there were quite a few narrow tunnels too small for him. However, they were able to meet up at the entrance to the Sanctuary Temple grounds, where they discovered that the Ing, in addition to remotely controlling the various mecha that the Luminoth had built, could actually possess them. While this made them more dangerous and lethal in combat, the added vulnerability to light and heat resulted in the smaller possessed mechas becoming so much slag before Spike's flame breath. Within the temple itself, they found the recorded message of the temple's last sentinel. Hear the words of O'Lear, last sentinel of the fortress temple. May they serve you well. This used to be a great fortress, a safe haven for our people during the war. It also holds portals to the Ing Hive, the heart of their dark tribe. And that's safe how? Spike murmured under his breath. Hush, Samus scolded. The message continued. During the war, I built a number of mechanical sentinels to join me in battle. They were made to fight the Ing, and fight them they did, for a time. One by one, the Ing corrupted them. Now they attack with no mercy. Many went to Dark Aether with their Ing masters. Calling it now. Rainbow called out. Hive Guardian's a giant robot. Do you mind? Samus demanded. We were in the midst of relating a noble warrior's last words. Kill bad guys, save us all, sorry I screwed up big time, Rainbow summarized. How close am I? No reason to be disrespectful of the legacy of someone who gave their life for their people and world, Rainbow, Spike chided gently. Rainbow's ears went flat against her skull. Sorry. At any rate, Samus continued. The message continued. Expect them when you are in the hive. The Ing like to use them as guards. Spike watched as Rainbow mightily resisted the urge to say anything else. How come you didn't encounter them anywhere else, then? Applejack asked. I mean, if they're so tough, why not use them in Aegon or Torvis? They probably weren't hermetically sealed, Twilight pointed out. Computer circuitry is exceptionally delicate. Without proper protection, a single mote of dust can fry an entire machine if it gets in the wrong part. Spike scratched his chin thoughtfully. That's probably why we only saw the Darkling mechs and interior portions of the Ing hive. Nodding, Samus continued relating the message. The Ing will protect their home with great ferocity. In all our battles, the hive has never fallen. The message then updated Samus and Spike's translator modules so they could access the last color of hologram interfaces. If only I could join you, redeem my fallen honor in battle. But, my time has passed. Good luck! May the light of Aether show you the way! With the message over, Spike and Samus turned to explore the temple, to find a way to attack the hive's core.